I'd like to welcome everybody to CKJ Crypto News. Good morning, I hope all is well. Guys, one of my favorite things about Ripple Labs is the board of directors. One of my favorite lines is the proof is in the partnerships. Now, this board of directors is the who's who in the world today. Many political tie-ins, world tie-ins, global connections. This is a very, very impressive team. Basically, guys, when I first do my research as far as investing, I want to make sure that they got a really good team and a really good product. So, good team, good utility, I believe is a win-win situation. But they have a very impressive team. Very. We're going to highlight a few members on the board of directors. Some of the ones you may not be really familiar with. With Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse, we pretty much know their history. So I kind of wanted to highlight a few other members that have a very impressive resume, that's for sure. Even the highlight right here, Ben Loski, the creator of the BIT license. Gene Sperling, American economic, former director of National Economic Council. Chris Larsen, former CEO, founded and served CEO of Prosper. Zouk Cruz, former president of Morgan Stanley. Takashi Okitsu, founder and served as chairman of the e-commerce. Also is the founder of SBI, I believe. We'll pull that up. Susan Anthony. This is the director of Ripple, a video service where she said we're going to replace Swift. I'll show that. Ken Carson, connected to Trump. Connections to Trump's son-in-law. A lot of connections there. Aja, co-founder and principal with Condoleezza Rice. This is a huge, huge connection right here. I'll show this right here, guys. Alrighty, so let's get this started. This is Chris Larsen. He is the original founder. Very, very impressive resume. He's one of the main reasons I actually started back in Ripple, as far as the things he's done through Occupy Wall Street movement, and he's the first one to create a peer-to-peer lending process. Very impressive resume. Now, this is Susan Anthony right here. Now, guys, you may be familiar with this right here. Shout out to Steve. Very impressive research. But the first minute right here is amazing.
Is that banks are basically plugging in, and there's a big group in the Middle East. There's also a big group in Asia. A big group of Japanese banks have just joined. So a lot of smaller countries are the early adopters, and they're setting up their own networks so they don't have to go through SWIFT.
Whoa. So basically, guys, you heard it right there from the director of Ripple. Banks are plugging into RippleNet to form their own network so they don't have to go through SWIFT. So, like I said, guys, very impressive resume there. Susan Anthony, basically a professor, economic, and Stanford graduate. She received her bachelor's degree from Duke, PhD from Stanford. She holds an honorary doctorate from Duke University. She previously taught at the economics department of MIT, Stanford, and Harvard. Whoa. She was elected to the National Academy of Science in 2012. It just goes on and on. Very impressive resume. Basically, next one right here is Zouk Cruz. Zouk Cruz, co-president of Morgan Stanley from 2005 to 2007. Prior to becoming co-president of Morgan Stanley, she had been its global head of fixed income, commodities, and foreign exchange from 2001 to 2005. She was an advisor to the Monetary Financial Group. I pulled up this right here, and actually more information from Steve. Fact, Zouk Cruz, whom Ripple appointed as a board member, is also a non-executive director in two big investment firms, namely Old Mutual and Man Group. Her experience will aid the growth of RippleNet and XRP usage. Now, if you click on this, with her 35 years experience in finance and foreign exchange, Zoe will offer us a unique perspective and invaluable guidance on how to accelerate RippleNet growth and XRP usage across the network globally, said Big BG, CEO of Ripple. Now, this is from Ripple Insights. This is some of the best, straight from the horse's mouth right there. Huge shout out to Steven Diop. You can follow him on Twitter at DIEPSANH. Very impressed with his research, that's for sure. Thanks again, buddy. Brad Garlinghouse. Now, what I thought was interesting about Brad's resume, everybody knows he was the big guy at Yahoo, I believe, famous for the Peanut Butter Manifesto. But one thing I really thought was interesting is he was an advisor at Silver Lake. Now, Silver Lake, we did a video the other day. We tied Silver Lake to Glenn Hutchins, who sits on the board of the Federal Reserve. Glenn Hutchins has also had a prior business with George Soros. George Soros tie-in right there. Glenn Hutchins tie-in. That ties into the digital currency group. Digital currency group is Barry Silbert. They're one of the earliest investors in Ripple Labs. Also, Glenn Hutchins is one of the earliest investors in Ripple Labs. So, like I said, guys, the proof is in the partnerships. Very impressive there. This is Ken Kersen right here. Now, on Ken Kersen, some pretty interesting stuff here. Right here, the Trump administration considers an old friend. And this is Ken Kersen right here. Now, this is Jared Kushner, I believe his name is. Ken Kersen left and former editor of The Observer with Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law. So basically, if you don't know who Jared Kushner is, Jared Kushner, he's married to Ivanka Trump. Well, he's married to Donald Trump's daughter. Jared Kushner is an American investor and real estate developer, newspaper publisher who currently is senior advisor to his father-in-law, Donald Trump. Senior advisor. So, whoa, that's huge. So, New York Observer editor Ken Kersen sitting with Trump's at RNC rally. Ken Kersen, editor of the New York Observer. Now, he was an editor at the New York Observer, which Jared Kushner owned, and spending his second night in a row sitting in the Trump family box at the Republican National Convention. So that's huge, guys. It looks like our Ripple Labs board member right here does have huge ties to the Trump administration. And looks like he has tie-ins to senior advisor at the Trump administration. So that's kind of huge. So basically when Corey Johnson says we've been in talks with the Trump administration, it looks like another connection right there. So that's pretty interesting. Now here is my favorite guy on the team. Besides for Chris Larsen and BG. But this guy's a big-time heavy hitter right here. Now look on his what he says. Loski will be instrumental in helping us increase institutional adoption of XRP. Now, if you're not familiar with Loski, Ben has over 20 years experience in law and financial services. He's also the creator of the BitLicense, guys, so that's kind of huge. Chief of Staff to Governor Andrew Cuomo and Chair of the Governor Cuomo's Cybersecurity Advisory Board. He also created the BitLicense. So that's kind of huge, guys. And if you're not familiar with Ben Loski, this is him right here. He was once known as Sheriff Loski. Ben Loski, the superintendent of New York Department of Financial Services, announced on Wednesday that he's leaving to start his own consulting firm, a move that will likely make him a very wealthy man. Loski has spent his entire career up until this point working in government. He started his career as an aide to Charles Schumer, so he won't have many business insights to share for his clients, but I really like this line. But his Rolodex should come in handy. Wow. Not to mention, Loski appointed by Governor Cuomo, he quickly earned his reputation for elbowing his way into regulatory issues typically handled at the federal level. When a financial firm got in trouble with federal regulators, Loski would step in and threaten to revoke its banking license. That would force the company to pay the New York estate an enormous settlement on top of whatever punishment meted out by the feds. Loski was also remembered as the father of the so-called BitLicense. Wow, that's huge, guys. And like I said, basically what happened was, in banking on Bitcoin, Loski basically gave Coinbase a really hard time. And he priorly made a consumer alert against Coinbase that they wasn't regulated at the time. So anyway, to make a long story short, Ben Loski retired from that well-paid position, and now he's on the board of directors at Ripple, and Loski will be instrumental in helping increase adoption of XRP. But his Rolodex should come in handy. I believe so. That's for sure. Now, as we move on, this is Manuel. Now, this is very impressive right here. We'll kind of speed this up a little bit. This is the law firm that she created, and look who we got here. This is Condoleezza Rice. You guys may be familiar with her. She serves as what? Treasury, Secretary of Defense. From January 2005 to 2009, Rice served as the 66th Secretary of the United States. So that's huge right there. Rice also served as President George Bush's assistant to President National Security Affairs, National Security Advisor. Whoa. And then we also got a big-time heavy hitter right here also. This is Robert Gates. Robert Gates served as the 22nd Secretary of Defense. He's the only Secretary of Defense in U.S. history to be asked to remain in the office by newly elected President Barack Obama. Was the 8th president Gates served. Wow, 8th president. He previously served under President George Bush also. Obama, George Bush, many presidents. That's very impressive. And this is our Ripple board member right here, Manuel. Very impressive resume here. Manuel served as a founding partner at Rice, Harley, and Gates. And that's this one right here. Rice, Harley, and Gates. And a very impressive team right there. So that's huge. She once was an attorney. She was an investment banker at Solomon Brothers. She currently serves on the board of directors of Risk and Governance Committee for Ripple. So that's huge, guys. And I actually looked up her Twitter. This Brave New World. That's ironic. Brave New World, NWO. You know, just a little joke. But anyway, this is Akati right here. Takati is the CEO of SBI Ripple Asia joint venture Ripple and SBI Holdings. So I was like, wow. So once we looked him up, MoneyTap, translate, MoneyTap, the new MoneyTap will finally start a service if you're using your iPhone. Will be able to download subsequently in the App Store notifications. Those who use Android have become available for download previous. So basically, guys, this is the MoneyTap connection, MoneyTap right here. Japanese SBI set to launch Ripple-based mobile app. Japanese fintech heavyweight SBI Holdings plans to launch Ripple-powered mobile payment application called MoneyTap. In a tweet shared with his followers, Okata, CEO of SBI Ripple Asia, shared the webpage, a new payment application. So wow, I mean, the world connections. And last but not least, on this board of directors, very impressive resume, Gene Sperling. So, I mean, we just go to right here, Clinton administration, Obama administration, National Economic Council, Gene Sperling. Gene Sperling served as a National Economic Council Director of National Economic Advisor under President Clinton from 1997 to 2001, and then under President Obama from 2011 to 2014. Prior, he was a senior counselor of Treasury Secretary, advising on the financial crisis and auto rescue issues, as well being lead advisor on financial jobs. In 2008, he was the chief economic advisor to Hillary Clinton during her presidential campaign. Wow. So, guys, just look at all the tie-ins to government jobs here. I mean, Condoleezza Rice and Robert Gates here, Ben Loski, Governor Cuomo, Donald Trump's son right here, Big BG, Glenn Hutchins, George Soros, Zouk Cruz. I forgot what we said about her. Zouk Cruz. Prior to joining, she was the co-president of Morgan Stanley, so big-time banker. And this is director of Ripple right here. Basically, we know the video right here where she said we're going to be replacing Swift. So anyway, guys, this is one hell of a team. I'm very excited about this team. The proof is in the partnerships. They have basically built a team of who's who as far as basically getting this technology to the world. And this is one of the reasons I back Ripple and I back XRP. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I just kind of wanted to familiarize everybody with the team. I know there is a lot of new people that just came in digital currency. So this is one of the main reasons I support XRP. The CKJ coin will pop up right now. Please smash that coin to subscribe. We're almost at 13,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. And hit that notification bell. Guys, tell me in the comments, what do you think about this team right here? This is why XRP knocked Ethereum out the number 2 spot. We have real utility and real partnerships and a real team. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.